Yo, 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 my dope people, man. What is good? Hope all is well. Sending you all much positive energy. It is 5 o'clock a.m. on the money, and first of all, this is going on YouTube, but I'm gonna break it up into little sections and put, um, little sections on like my IG. So definitely follow me on IG, and just follow my content. I'm always putting content out on IG, especially on my stories and stuff like that. Um, First of all, like, there's a few things that I want to talk about. Um, hmm, Sometimes, man, like, first of all, we all, everyone is going through some type of challenge, right? And normally, I'm pretty good with really managing my emotions, but the last few days, I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard. It's been hard. Mainly because for me, and this is just like me being more in a vulnerable state. Because ultimately, I know I'm making the best decisions possible for my life and what I desire to create, which ultimately is legacy, which is wealth, um, which is comfort to a degree, right? Financial comfort, which is status, which is helping people, service to others in alignment with my true and my most authentic self. So I don't feel like I'm giving myself away to others and not living in my purpose. You know what I'm saying? Giving away myself too much. Um, Sorry. But it doesn't come without those sacrifices. It doesn't come without some challenges. And some of the challenges that I am being faced with is, and if you don't know, look, if you don't know, I've been traveling a lot for a multitude of reasons. Um, some play a lot of business stuff, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I genuinely love it. But one of the things that is my biggest challenges is um, it's not it's not just being away from my daughter. It is in which the way my daughter is being handled. Um, it's just in which the whole situation is being handled. Like, I'm not able to. It's not the fact that I'm not able to see my daughter, or let me change that. I know I was not going to be able to physically see my daughter like that, you know, um, for a prolonged amount of time. But I at least, felt like I would be able to FaceTime her and, just see her. You know what I'm saying? Because as a as a man who has I just get emotional talking about it. Like, it's just the hardest thing that I've ever had to deal with. And it takes a lot not to react based off of your emotions. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, like, I could tell some people just try to get to you by using the people closest to you, and it's just not easy to deal with that. But ultimately, it makes me stronger as a man. So, I embrace those challenges and I do the best I can in order to stay emotionally controlled and just in control of my emotions. Because if you want me to be honest, like, we don't really control much, but what we do control is very significant, and emotions is one of them. We are emotional beings. Like, you can't necessarily suppress your emotions. You have to just regulate those emotions, and I do my best to do that. And just it's challenging sometimes because my daughter is a person, a human being that I deeply care for. I deeply care for that girl. You feel me? So it is challenging. And if you know me, like, if you know me, you know that I care about my people, period. So just imagine how I feel, like, with this whole situation with my daughter. Like, I'm not able to FaceTime her. Like, you know, I got blocked from FaceTiming her, and before I left Raleigh, I wanted to obviously spend time and see my daughter. And there was a lot going on. So some days I just, there was so much going on with about the move and stuff like that and business and my business that it was hard to, right? But, I wanted to see her before I left, because I went to Charleston. South Carolina before I went to, where did I go after that? I was in Charleston for like 4 days, and then I was in Charleston for like 5 or 6 days because I was affected by the flight stuff. And then I went to Pittsburgh. I ended up leaving Pittsburgh early. I flew to Tampa, and then I was in Miami. Now I'm in Panama. And before I left, and I knew it was going to be a minute before I was able to see my daughter, like, physically. And before I left, I just wanted to see her, so I caught her. And I'm not going to just go into the whole detail of the phone call because I'll lose track of the point that I'm really trying to make. But, I called her and I said, hey, I want to see you before I leave. And she was just, it got quiet on the phone for a minute, and then she asked me to say it again, so I said it. She was like, okay. So I told her I was going to call her in, like 5 minutes when I was outside, so I could see her. So I pulled up, to, her mother's apartment, and she didn't answer. And I called her like 3 times and she didn't answer. So I wasn't even able to see my daughter, before I left. And if I'm being honest, like, you know, it's difficult as a man, it is difficult to control those emotions. For me, it's not difficult to control those emotions in the moment, because I understand if I lose control of my emotions, the type of uh, repercussions that come with that. So I really do my best to regulate my emotions and not to necessarily react. I'm not saying I'm perfect, because there's times where I do respond and at the best of manners, but I do my best not to react. Um, and dealing with that, and again, I'm not able to FaceTime her. Like, she doesn't reach out. It is difficult because I assisted with delivering this girl. You feel me? So I made sure that I was there the second she was born. Like, I literally helped deliver her. I cut the umbilical cord and everything. So like, it's just not easy dealing with that. Um, and I'm in a new country, you know, a whole different energy, new energy. And don't get me wrong, I love it. I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not my first rodeo. And I am a Taurus at the end of the day. You feel me? In Western Tropical, I'm a Taurus. And even in Sidereal, I have heavy Taurus energy. Because I really go off of Sidereal, 12-12 on a time as I say that. But Western Tropical is still also prevalent, But with that being said, this is not an astrology video, so I'm just not going into detail with that right now. But this ain't my first rodeo, and I'm on bull gang all day. You feel me? And I deployed back in 2011 for the first time, and I think I was 21 years old, and I remember that feeling. Like, this has that same feeling. It's a different energy, but the same principle or foundation of the energy. Going into a different country, you can't see how things are going to transpire. The only difference now is I'm so strong and solid in my spirituality. And honestly, it's not even necessarily faith for me, because faith is a science, right? 1313, as I say that. Faith is like saying, let's be honest, when we talk about faith, it's talking about, I know an external, something externally is going to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, like, I know it is a knowing. I know, like, I am taken care of. I know that I am attracting the best things to me. Like, it's not a matter of probability or possibility to me. I literally know this. If someone asks me what my name is, I'm not going to say, well, I think or I believe or I have faith my name is David. No, like, I know my name is David. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that. You know what I'm saying? It is just a knowing for me personally. And that's the difference, but it's a significant difference, because back then I didn't really understand spirituality like that. I knew I was spiritual. I always said I was spiritual, but to the degree that I am, I didn't know that at the time. So yeah, man, I'm in the right place. It is uncomfortable, and I'm comfortable being uncomfortable because I've been uncomfortable for a long time. Like, I've been uncomfortable many times in my life. I've been to, you know, many different places, different countries. I've traveled. I've been around people. I've been around, you know, authority figures that are, I mean, that are the very big authority figures. Like, I've been around colonels and admirals and shit. You feel me? So like 3-star admirals. You feel me? Coming to our front desk like, hey man, we need this shit taken care of. Like, so And that's not it. I've been around, just again a multitude of people and places, so in different circumstances and things along those lines. So I've cultivated a lot of strength through these experiences, and I'm thankful for that. So I'm comfortable being uncomfortable, and you really gotta stand in that shit, and you really have to embrace it as well, like, and embody that energy. Embodying that energy is your auric field expanding out into, other spaces, space, and it's allowing more things to come into your auric field. And when that happens, it makes your physical vessel uncomfortable. But that's why it's very important to control your thoughts through the emotions, because the emotions is the energetic flow of the universe. You know what I'm saying? Because it was, it's water. Water is very important. This is why our body is made up of like 60 to 70% water. This is why our planet is like what, 80 to 90% water or something crazy like that. It may not be those exact numbers, but you get the point. The point is there is a lot of water in our reality, and you have to know how to regulate that. But that's why emotion, it's not only just about emotional control, it's about controlling your thoughts through that emotional control, because emotions have such a huge influence on us as human beings. And controlling your thoughts and regulating your emotions go hand in hand. It really goes hand in hand, so that's why I'm always talking about controlling your thought process, but I probably should talk about regulating emotions and things along those lines a little bit more as well, which I will. But with that being said, I know this is already a long video, 1717 as I say that, which is 8/8, and today is the Lionsgate portal, August 8th, 2024. 2 plus 2 plus 4 is 8. Y'all heard me talk about an 8-year. And 8 is the infinity sign. It's all possibilities. It's just pointed up. You know what I'm saying? And it's an infinity, like it's a little infinity loop. There's no gaps. There's no gaps. You feel me? It's all about manifesting. You are manifesting using your masculine energy. Yes, you're using your feminine energy too, but 8 is like business. It is ego. It is your true, authentic self. You know what I'm saying? And which you are manifesting based off of your true and authentic self. All right. So this is a big portal, and it's at the same time as Halia, which is Sirius rising. And I was just looking on my app. It's called Stellarium, I believe it's called. And you could like view the stars and things along the lines on your phone and the placements of it. And Sirius is right at that horizon. Sirius is right at the horizon. So I believe it's going to probably be around August 14th that it's rising. The reason is because the nature of Sirius is Jupiter and Mars. I'll try to include the resource that I received this from. It was called it was an astrology asteroid or fixed star astrology site. And use all of my resources that I use and things along those lines are on my PC, and my PC is in storage and I'm on travel. So, I have to fly back and, send it over here and things along those lines eventually. But that's where like all my resources and stuff is. So like I don't have like all of my sources but for now, just trust what I'm saying, all right? But the nature is Jupiter and Mars. That's the nature of the Sirius star. And right now Mars and Jupiter are in Taurus, and they become an exact they're in a conjunction right now, because in Vedic astrology, sidereal, when they're in the same sign, it's a conjunction. All right. Opposed to Western tropical, they can be in the same sign, but it's not a conjunction. It's just a certain degree point within a 5-degree orb. But sidereal, yes. Mars and Jupiter, they're already in a conjunction, but they come to an exact conjunction, which means they're at the exact degree point, right? Which I believe is like 22 degrees. I want to say it's 22 degrees or something like that. Is it 22 degrees? I want to say it's 22 degrees. I could be wrong on that though. But that's when that exact conjunction happens at August 14th, and I think that's exactly when the Sirius rising is. We'll be able to see Sirius on the horizon. And I believe Venus is going to be visible in the sky too, because she's popping up during the day, which is illuminating the light within Venus and your Venus placements. But just to bring it back to Halia Cow, it's synonymous with that, because Halia Cow is Sirius rising. The nature of Sirius is Jupiter and Mars conjunction. That conjunction is August 14th. So I believe that is when we will be able to see Sirius in the sky. Sirius it's actually brighter. It's actually bigger than the sun, but I am still, I don't really know how to exactly articulate that yet. I'm learning a lot about the Sirius star system, Sirius A and B. There was a Sirius C, but it was destroyed due to a cataclysm. But I am learning a lot about Sirius A and B. And Sirius B is like a satellite that is orbiting Sirius A. And it's so deep, I'll have to make a separate video on that, because I really don't want to get out, because I really need to get to this theory. And that's really why I'm doing this video. It's just that I felt I had to speak about a lot, because it was a lot really in my energy that I felt like I needed to get out. And it's been a minute since I've put a video up on YouTube, because there's been so much travel and just travel delays. I went to the Conscious Awards show, man, in Miami. And it wasn't just the award show. I went to everything. I went to the conference. I didn't stay for every speaker at the conference, but I made sure I was there for Muhammad Rahim. I could have messed up his name, but I'm getting better with names, y'all. I'm really not good with names. You know what I'm saying? But I watched him. I watched Markable 13, who was Fireman. He did a lot of AI stuff in crypto. And I watched some of Robert Grant. But I left out there because, I work a lot with the High Strangeness YouTube channel, and Roderick, man, and shout out to Roderick for real, man. First of all, that is, there's certain people that you feel like you come into contact with. There's a lot of times we come into contact with people and they're just there for a specific period. But I feel like Roderick is like first of all, he's a true friend to me. That's a true friendship and a business partnership. You know what I'm saying? So, let me put that out there first before anything. But shout out to him, man, because he won. I forgot the award he won, but he won an award at the Conscious Awards, man. And I'm so fucking proud of him, because I'm just proud of him, man, because he worked hard for that. There was a lot of, challenges and things along those lines he went through. And so I'm just very, very proud of him, man. For real. I'm very proud of him. So salute, what I'm saying? Salute to Roger whenever you see this, man. You're not even like a brother. You are a brother. Man, you look out for me and I look out for you as much as I possibly can, man. So shout out to you. Salute to you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Good ass fucking dude right there. And always gonna have his back, and that's on everything. You feel me? You could take that shit to God, whoever you need to, but that's a fact. But with that being said, yes, it's time for me to get to this tarot reading. So I got a few new decks. My right ear just started like ringing, so I know my higher self is really communicating with me. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get straight to it. I got a couple new decks, man. I got the Mystic Martian Oracle deck. I have the Egyptian, the Egyptian Book of the Dead Oracle deck. So for Ancient Kemet, and I have a Stranger Things deck as well, and another Kemetic deck as well. So let's see what pops up. Sometimes these cards, like I'm getting used to the decks. Some of them pop, some of them don't. So, all right, I'll take it from the bottom. Ankh. Let's read it. 11. Also, if you don't know, the Ankh is the unity between the male and the female, because this is the male part. The top part is the uterus for a woman. Male and female. The Ankh, key ideas: immortality, opportunity, and protection. It's funny because I did my own personal reading and immortality did come out. The Ankh is an ancient symbol of immortality to the Egyptians and represented the life force of physical existence and the afterlife. Its power was thought to be everlasting, with the loop at the top representing the portal into the spiritual realms and the duat. It was frequently used as a symbol of protection, being painted onto the sarcophagi and tomb walls, or worn as an amulet. Even today, some people choose to wear an Ankh as a lucky charm or as a link with African ancestors and heritage. To the Egyptians, the Ankh was known as the key of life, and it was a symbol of eternity. I wear Ankh earrings for sure, and I personally wear them because not only do am I like, it's Kemet in my blood, but I wear it because I like representing my Kemet, you know what I'm saying, my Kemet ancestors, you know what I'm saying. I love them dearly, so I always wear the Ankh, and I do have an Ankh tattoo on my leg. When the Ankh card comes up in the spread, it indicates that you will soon hold the key to your personal power, control your thoughts, which could mean anything from a special talent you have to a new qualification. The meaning behind this card is clear. The way is open, and you are free to forge ahead. Doors that have remained shut against you can now be opened, leading to new opportunities and new life experiences. As a symbol of protection, the Ankh card offers reassurance that you are safe to follow your dreams. Doors will swing wide and welcome for you, and new ventures are likely to be successful. All right. And this is very synchronistic because, again, we are in a Lionsgate portal 888, and that is significant. It is significant, and Sirius is synonymous with Egypt. Ancient Egypt / Kemet definitely had a very, very strong bond and relationship with Sirius. I personally believe that's where they came from, and the reason being is I'm still doing research on all this, y'all. Like, I don't know everything, but Ptah, who basically is responsible for how we are able to create. You know what I'm saying? He is from the Sirius star system. He reincarnated as someone in Kemet. This is, and you could tell, and this is confirmed by ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, because when you look at his glyph, he is holding his glyph is a DNA strand. And on top of that, just to add a little bit more to it, he descended down from the Sirius star system. Right now, I don't know exactly where the proof of him descending from the star system came from, but I remember reading something along the lines of the rotation of Sirius A and B is rotating in a circle like this, symbolizing the DNA strand. So that's definitely not a coincidence. I don't know everything. I'm just giving you all what I have learned so far. All right. So that's the one card I'm gonna pull from my Egyptian Book of the Dead Oracle deck. I'm gonna pull some cards from my Stranger Things deck. I do have. Shout out to my Stranger Things fans, man. Y'all know I'm a huge Stranger Things fan for sure. I'll give it one more shuffle. I shuffled it already, but I'll do it another. I'll do one more. And I don't know if you heard that card just now, but that was probably a synchronicity. All right. They want me to take this because this came out a couple times. The Ace of Spokes. Spokes is your emotions. Aces are new beginnings. Again, definitely heavy on new beginnings, new cycles. I just heard 10-10. Well, 10-10. So if you've been seeing 10-10, that's your confirmation. The 8 of Strands. Let's see. I'm just now getting used to this boy, y'all. So strands. What are the strands? The strands is the wands. Okay, so wands is your lust, that is your creativity, that is your compassion, that is your passion, that is the divine spark in you that pushes you to intuitively take action on certain things, right? That is the divine spark. And those are represented by the fire signs in the zodiac. All of us have fire sign energy. It just depends on where that energy resides. So Leo, Aries, or Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, those are the fire signs. So check your chart and see where those are at. Because again, if you have it depends on your house system. I don't know y'all chart. You got to hit me up for a chart interpretation. But say for example, you have you have Aries in the third house, right? Third house is communication and self-expression. So when it comes to the fire element, you always feel a spark to speak about something. You're quick on speaking. You're quick to respond to certain things. Hold on, let me get my water. But yes, you're quick to respond to things. Not in a bad way. I mean, it's not my place to say good. It was good and bad, but I'm saying it in the sense of you just know when to respond. You feel me? But there's a polar opposite. There's a polar aspect, a polarity aspect to that as well, right? We live in a universe of duality and polarity. So the other end of the spectrum, you have to avoid the extremisms and balance that spark and balance when you should know when to respond to something and when you are just quick to react instead of just kind of waiting. You know what I'm saying? So yes, but the strands is your compassion, your creativity, and when we get to the the 8 of strands, it says, like the strands of lights flashing in Joyce's house, the 8 of strands finds you sparkling with momentum. Things are happening, communication is vibrant, your confidence is growing, and you are being called to be decisive. Now that's synchronistic because didn't I just mention a fire sign being in the third house, and third house is communication and self-expression. All right. So you're probably going to receive some type of communication from someone in regards to an opportunity that's going to give you it's going to light you up. It's really going to light you up. It's like a reinvigorating thing. More wand energy. X, that is the 10 of wands. Let's see what the 10 of wands says in this deck. Or 10 of strands. 1 second, y'all. Whole new deck. Bear with me, all right? You may be feeling constricted by the people and things you love, but don't let it overwhelm you. Even friends as close as the party need to take breaks from each other. The 10 of strands symbolizes feeling overburdened, often asking you to examine how much you are taking on. Stay strong. This is temporary, and you will regain your balance soon. All right. I'm going to pull a couple more cards. I don't know how much. I'll let my guys let me know what's up. All right. 7 of scoops and the 9 of spokes. So let's see, what is the 7 of scoops? Scoops is pentacles, physical reality. So that's talking about something definitely manifested in your physical reality, and you're going to see it. You're going to get communication on this soon. All right, you're definitely going to get communication on this soon. But let me see. Let me get the exact card interpretation for y'all. Hold up. Is your sailor hat throwing off your game, blocking your most important asset? Maybe, but maybe you're pushing just a little too hard. Are you worried that everything you're doing will go unnoticed? It's valid to desire recognition for your efforts, but you are being encouraged to slow down. Practice mindfulness and take some time to appreciate where you are, even if it means wearing a dorky hat. So again, something is manifesting for you, or it has already manifested. Just be patient with it coming in. Don't try to force it. And I just talked about, I literally just talked about self-control on my IG not too long ago. This is why y'all need to follow me on IG. Make sure y'all follow me on my IG. For real. If you're not following me on IG, you should. It's really that simple. All right, the nanospokes. Remember the lesson of letting go, learn with the nanospokes. This card represents that something better you are waiting for. It's time to indulge yourself to reward all the dedication and hard work you've done. You've been doing the inner work. If you've been doing the inner work, you are getting rewarded for it. All right, just be a little bit patient, but it's coming in. And it was 30-30. It was 35-35 on the timer as I say that, which is 8-8 again. This is the truth. You feel me? Let me get one more, y'all. One more card. I'm gonna pull one more, and then I'm gonna pull a card from my Mystic Martian Oracle deck, and we'll be out of here. Because I don't want to make this too long. All right, I'm gonna take this. Cool. And this is what, the 6 of Strands. All right. Your success is shining brighter than the neon star court mall sign. This is the card, by the way. I haven't been showing y'all the cards. I'll get better at it. Bear with me, all right. That's the card. This is a beautiful deck. I really, really love this deck. Your success is shining brighter than a neon star court mall sign, and everyone is noticing. Be proud of yourself. Right now, you are having a moment that deserves celebration. Be careful of the victory hangover, however. Once the party is over, you may wonder whether things will ever be that good again. Use the accolades you've received as a reminder of your potential. If you stay on track, you'll triumph. All right. Now, I'll pull one card from the Mystical Oracle deck. Seriously. I gotta take care of my decks, you feel me? I gotta make sure I take care of my stuff. Alright. Let me pull one card from my Mystical Martian Oracle deck. Wouldn't be surprised if like a Series B card come out. I really wouldn't. This one I usually shuffle a couple times and then I pull one off the bottom. The Galactic Federation, 22. Twos are significant because I put that on my IG stories a couple days ago. So you could be seeing definitely 111, 222, 555, and 999 for sure. The Galactic Federation, collaboration, meetings, and community. This really speaks to, again, the message of you being seen and something has manifested already. You're being put in alignment with that opportunity, and the right people have been seeing your content and they have been seeing you. You may not know, because I'm gonna be honest, what I've learned is being around the people that I've been around, like, you're not even gonna know they're looking at your content, yo. Like, you can have 6 views, but one of those views be like fucking Tim Story or something. You know, it's like, you really don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you genuinely don't know. So keep on putting out content, you feel me? You just have to make sure you love it. Don't do it just for, just for recognition. I do this, like, because I love this shit. All right, 22. Galactic Federation. Give me 1 second. It's funny, I ended up being on a Series B page. The Galactic Federation of Light was founded over 4.5 million years ago to prevent interdimensional dark forces totally dominating our Milky Way galaxy. They are benevolent beings of many star systems that travel to many galaxies and, in some cases, multiverses. Their mission involves peacefully carrying out cosmic assistance to all willing beings facing fated and unfated cosmic phenomena. The Galactic Federation intercede with Earth councils, solar councils, and with the Great White Brotherhood of Ascended Masters. They are generally based in the Sirius star system and travel throughout this galaxy. That's synonymous because I did mention the Sirius star system. Throughout this galaxy, universe, and occasionally beyond. They have over 200,000 Confederation members from countless planets. They have enormous fleets of starships at their disposal with highly sophisticated, sentient, interdimensional technology. Shout out to Stephen Greer. Also, I meant to say that earlier. Stephen Greer got the Lifetime Achievement Award at the second annual Conscious Awards that was hosted by Giorgio. And if you don't know, the Conscious Awards is founded and created by the Carsons, Billy Carson and Elizabeth Carson. Shout out to them. Salute to the whole Carson family and the Forbidden Knowledge, whole Forbidden Knowledge team, man. Courtney, Kika, Rod. There's so many of those people, man. I know I can't list everyone because I'm new to the whole thing. And just shout out to all y'all. I love y'all. The motherships are self-contained worlds. Their ships can dematerialize or cloak if need be. They have been visiting Earth for millions of years with strong ancient connections to the Terra human species. Somebody don't want y'all to know this information because I'm coughing. And that happened out of nowhere. But y'all know we're going to get this message out. The Galactic Federation are participating with the ongoing consciousness paradigm shift of cosmos that affects all galaxies of the universe. For coherent developmental reasons, they follow the non-interference law by distant or cloaked monitoring. Only when threatened with potential threats or dangers that will destroy an entire planet can they interject. The Federation has to interject on Earth's cosmic development a few times already. Or the Federation has had to interject, on Earth's cosmic development a few times already. Card meaning, collaboration, cooperation, alliances, meetings, teamwork, travel, monitoring. Damn, they really don't really get this fucking message out. Jesus. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I had to push through to get this message through today. I did. Monitoring, community, amalgamation, symbiotic, and group dynamics, which is very big because going forward in this new reality, cultivating and having a strong community is extremely important. This is the way going forward. All right. If you are not including people and communities, you are not going to be successful. Why? Because we are in the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is the divine essence, right? It is humanitarian. It includes people. You know what I'm saying? That is why the being of Aquarius is pouring down a bucket of water or a liquid, because that liquid represents the divine essence, which includes all people, which includes compassion. You know what I'm saying? And community. It's making smaller things larger and larger things smaller. So a lot of these corporations that have been, controlling the masses, they are coming down. The ones who have not been seen, that have been doing the work, the inner work, they are going to be seen. This is the age of Aquarius theme, all right? With that being said, that is you all's reading. I am about to go get a workout in. Hopefully the gym in this hotel is pretty good. If not, then I'll have to take a Uber, you know what I'm saying? A Uber over to the other gym. But it's all good nonetheless. I'm getting this workout in. With that being said, this is your man, David G. I hope all is well. Sending y'all much positive energy on this lovely, lovely Thursday. And remember, man, control your thoughts, regulate your emotions, self-regulation. And just to give you a quick tip on that, a way to do it, there's a nerve that connects the mind and the heart, the gut. And that is called the vagus nerve, right? Breathing techniques are a very significant or impactful way to self-regulate your emotions and your energy. So when you feel yourself about to react to someone and you know you probably don't want to react, I would practice breath work. A very practical way to do this in the heat of the moment is when you feel yourself getting, overreactive a little bit. I would inhale for 4 seconds, pause at the top for 4 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold at the respiratory pause at the bottom of your exhale for 4 seconds. You would do that about 4 to 5 times. It doesn't need to be that, it could be less or more depending on how many times you need to do it, but usually 3 to 5 times works where it calms you down and it self-regulates. It regulates your emotions and your energy to where you calm down a little bit, all right? But with that being said, I love y'all. Drink your water. Health is wealth. Sitting on much positive energy. And you already know, man. Stay tapped in. Control your thoughts and all of that. All right. You already know. And we out.